Hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the first day of World Cup Tournament Season 2, Day 1 of group stage. So, before we get into our games today, let's thank our sponsors first, which is BNB Chain, Biosin, and Izumi Finance. You can see their icons at the top. So, alright, that's it for the introduction. Let's get straight into the games. And let's start from the first group. Let's see. Oh, this looks very balanced. So this game is pro NFT games with Inferno Zen versus THDC with Inferno Empire. And Inferno Empire looks like pretty much aggro. Classic Inferno deck, and maybe a couple of Empire cards. But for now, we can only see Inferno cards, so maybe there's some secret Empire cards that synergize with Inferno cards. And for Pro NFT, he's just running straight up buffing deck. Just play a creature that he wants to buff and just spam all the buffs on the creature. Usually it's Inferno, so THDC stack usually would be stronger because all you have to do is just deal damage to your opponent. You don't really have to worry about um the board. Kind of like no communication. But for Pro NFT, the strategy is also relatively simple. It's just play a creature and hope it doesn't die the turn it's played, and then you can spam all the buffs on the creature. Yeah. So in this matchup, uh, in this matchup, I would say normally THDC stack is a little bit stronger, but in this matchup, when THDC is against Pro NFT stack, it's Pro NFT that has a slightly better chance. Unless THDC has the Reaper. If THDC has if he runs the Reaper, which makes the opponent, actually no, the Reaper that makes everyone not able to gain HP, then it's much easier for him to win the game. Because the Pro NFT needs that heal from his buff creature. Oh, this is looking bad. The clean sweep, sweeping away the max amount of creatures. You will begin in 11 minutes. Well, good luck. Good luck on your first game in group stage. So for THDC to win this game, he would need to guess what creature Pro NFT is going to buff. So let's say if Pro NFT plays it mid row and THDC gets it right, then he can get rid of the creature before Pro NFT buffs it up. And it looks like that's not the only win condition for Pro NFT. His second win condition is being aggro and just buff whatever aggro card he has on the board instead of a super healing creature. So this is 8 damage, bot row. THDC needs to put something here. And Pro FD knows that, so use a Mastering Seclusion to get away 1. But that's not enough to get the damage to THDC. And 7 mana. Yeah. At this point, if THDC can get this Garage off the board, then he would have a chance. Because this is gonna give him 7 HP back. And it's gonna get Pro NFT down to 20. So it would be 20 versus 15. If THDC can get rid of the grudge. But Pro NFT knows that as well, so he's probably gonna play something here. Or he's gonna use Clean Sweep. Yep, he's played something in front of it, which is the Infernal Butcher. Very well played. Oh, and he's very lucky. His Infernal Butcher get the Annabelle. The Infernal Butcher could have hit the Crimson Servant or the Warsaw. But yep, it actually get the Annabelle. Now there's pressure of 3 creatures from Pro NFT to THDC. For aggro deck like Inferno and Frozen, usually you will need to run super healing deck. Like a deck that's built up around healing cards. And that's if the deck is not running the Reaper, which makes everyone not able to gain HP. Alright, looks like Pro NFT gets this first match. And yeah, so for Inferno and Frozen, actually it's for everything that um everything that has Inferno in it, as long as it runs the Reaper that makes everyone unable to gain HP, then you can play control against that type of deck. For that type of deck, you just need to be as aggro as the Inferno deck. That's the only win condition. At this for Season 1. Maybe things will change Season 2. But for Season 1, for whatever deck with Reaper, you need to be as aggro as the deck. Let's see. Oh, everyone's playing fairly quick. Okay. Let's see. Let's check out Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a very good player, but I don't know if this is the Rocket Money that I know. Because this looks like an old account, so maybe it's not the same guy. Okay. The well played by Glauco. His Mila gets him a free level 5 Fat Rat Feast. And this positioning is, I would say, a little bit weird. because for Pirate and Rough Rock, the deck usually runs Portrait, and Portrait combos with Happy Space, because the Piggy you summon from Portrait gives you HP, and when you gain HP, Happy Space lets you draw cards each time when you gain HP. So ideally, you want to place Happy Space at the back or at this in the mid. Then that way, when you summon Piggy from Portrait, it's gonna be in front of Happy Space. And that way, Piggy dies and you draw cards. Instead of Happy Space died, and then it's Piggy's turn. Which when Piggy dies, the Happy Space already died before it, and you can't draw any cards. So that positioning is a little bit weird, but for the cards that was played, it didn't matter that much. But for most of the time, positioning matters. So this is a combo. This is a AoE combo with Mila. It's a level 4 Magic Storm. So since Mila was played, we know he has another Magic Storm. And this Golem at the bottom, let's see. It's a level 3 Golem. So if Magic Storm is played again, this Golem can get through the red at the bottom row. So it's gonna play either at the top or the mid. And it looks like it's the mid. And a level 5 Force Haunting was also played. So this Golem is gonna be buffed twice, and that's gonna make Golem 10 attack. And since Mila is still on the board, so all the spell cards are back to the hands again. And it's probably gonna be placed again. The Magic Storm and Force Haunting. Okay, it looks like Glauco is saving up the Force Haunting. It looks like that was not a bad choice. So the Sunburn Dragon is 100% gonna be taken down by Force Haunting. Good luck on your games, Uranus. Hope you win the game. Alright. So even though the Sunburn Dragon was taken down, a level 5 potential motivation was played. This is a very strong card. Level 5 blue card and gives you 30 HPs, as well as 2 draws. But Rocket Money Sunburn Dragon was taken down, and there is a huge difference between the cards in hands. And the Tyrant got taken down. That would be 1-1 for both of them. A very intense, I would say a very intense late game fight. Sunburn Dragon into Tyrant. I'm not sure about the Tyrant's level, but the Sunburn Dragon, it looked like level 5. So it was very strong. It was level 5 Sunburn Dragon into probably high level Tyrant as well. But Glauco seems to made I would say a good control choice. Saving the Force Haunting and then use it with the Magic Storm was a good choice for trying to control the board. When he knows Rocket Money is playing potential big creatures because it has Rough Rock as the race. And this game is, I would say, very lucky, because he gets Keto on time, and that makes him has a very strong board. Keto is very hard to get rid of, and it's a little bit unlucky. What level was this? It was a level 5 Knight Assault. If this Knight Assault didn't hit this, let's see, level 5 Scholar. If it hit Kiddo, then Scholar is gonna be on the board and draw us one card at the end of the turn, which makes Glauco able to burn a card next turn, and that makes Kiddo back to this form again. Because Knight Assault can only get Kiddo into Ghost Boy form. It can't take down the Kiddo. So it's a little bit unlucky for Glauco. So I would say it's a pretty fair game. He has Kiddo on time, but Kiddo didn't block the Night Assault. And Rocket Money is gonna start playing the Unlimited Portrait. Um, but it's not gonna be this portrait because Rocket Money has lower HP for this turn. So the portrait was not able to go back to his hands. But the positioning this time is correct though. Happy Space is at the back, and then you play Portrait. So the piggies can be potentially spawning in front of the Happy Space. Okay, Rocket Money got the Sunburn Dragon here on time again. And it's a level 5 Sunburn Dragon. And let's see. Oh, and the Golem didn't hit the Sunburn Dragon. So that's sad news for Glauco. That's gonna be 20 damage. And now Glauco's HP is lower than Rocket Money. If Rocket Money has Portrait, then he can play 2 Portraits this turn by burning 1 card. And then he can start spamming Portraits every turn, starting from now. If he has 2 Portraits. Also, Glauco has to deal with this Sunburn Dragon next turn. And I don't think there is a creature that has more than 10 HP and can also deal 18 damage at the same time. So he needs Force Hunting for the Sunburn Dragon. Or Mind Control. Okay, but Rocket Money knew this is gonna happen. So he played the Zoologist. And yep, this card got changed. I think from the Dow before last time. So 2 times ago. Before um before Zoologist gets changed, it was only a simple buff card. It wasn't hexproof buff. Like as you can see, the Sunburn Dragon has the hexproof icon, and before before the doubt went through, it it's gonna just buff the Sunburn Dragon. So more HP and more attack, that's it. But after the doubt went through, it now gives hexproof for only, I think, rough rock creature and one other race. And let's see. Let's see if there is any live going on. Oh, Draken is back playing. Let's see if he was AFK. So nope, was not an absent player. Were actually played. Oh, there's a live sale going on. Let's see. Frozen Zen versus Rough Rock Zen. Okay, okay. That was a good clean sweep from 𝙁𝙁. We can see Vita Simples as a rising up in his hand. Usually Frozen Zen is built around mostly Zen cards and just a few Frozen cards. It's usually built around the legendary card Lin or just Tempo Priest and buff it up. But since he's running Rising Up, so maybe this is a different deck. It's not the usual Frozen Zen deck. And for 𝙁𝙁, it seems like it's running the classic buffing creature deck. But his choice is to buff a Rough Rock Hippo card. So he's not choosing a Zen card to buff. Maybe that's why he's running Zen and Rough Rock. Because he wants to buff up the Rough Rock creature and use the Zen cards to support it. It looks like his plan right now. And he's also running the double HP Heritage. So there is a very good chance that 𝙁𝙁 is running Mountain Power. And if 𝙁𝙁 is running Mountain Power, there is also the good chance that he's running Trample buff card as well. So it's gonna be Trample and Mountain Power. And the damage is gonna go straight to the face. But for now, it looks like he had a level 3 Fade in the Gale. So that's a level 3 2 mana sweep. It's a small sweep. Alright, so 𝙁𝙁 is out of cards right now. He only plays whatever he draws in. While Vita Simples has 4 cards. But 𝙁𝙁 gets enough damage in before Vita start buffing up his carry creature. It looks like Vita's plan was to place this double strike down and then use hexproof to buff it up and then clean sweep the bottom row. That would be his winning condition. But 𝙁𝙁 knows that, so since he knew it, he just keeps sweeping away the creature that it looks like gonna get buffed by Vita. Alright, and this is gonna be their last game. Let's see if they change their deck. Not for Vita and not for 𝙁𝙁. Okay, so it looks like turn 1, Vita played a Bamboo, and 𝙁𝙁 played a Monkey Monk. You can see 𝙁𝙁's monkey made him see Vita has another Bamboo. And this is a little bit weird positioning, I would say. 𝙁𝙁 placed the Turtle Monk in front of the Monkey Monk. Maybe it's because 𝙁𝙁 wants to save this monkey, I would say. Because it has 5 attack and it gains 1/1 every time the turn ends. So Vita is trying to go aggro right now with the Brave Teacher because we can see he has no cards. No buff cards, only creatures. So he's not able to win, or I would say out damage 𝙁𝙁's damage if he doesn't go aggro with Brave Teacher that last turn. And it seems like Rockdoll is doing the correct choice because Turtle Monk has 5 HP as well as 1 armor, so that makes Turtle Monk much tankier than the Monkey Monk. So as long as Rockdoll doesn't need the heritage from the monkey into the Turtle Monk, then he can use Turtle Monk as the tank to protect the monkey. And now Rockdoll gets hexproof, so Vita can now use Clean Sweep to get away the turtle. And that's gonna be a bad news for Vita because Vita can only take down this turtle by putting down creatures right now. And that's gonna be hard because for this turn, it already needs 8 damage to be taken down. And Rockdown might have more buff cards. Alright, and it looks like Vita cannot deal with the hexproof turtle. Rockdown gets the win of the match. Let's look at the chat. It's you again, Jimmy. Alright, check out your games. Check out Jimmy's Super Buff Bird. Let's see how Jimmy's doing. Okay. And Jimmy wins against, let's see, exactly 1k Bell Power higher deck. Exactly 1k. Alright, let's see. So AAS looks like running a control deck, drawing cards and AoE. So making sure he doesn't die in the first few early rounds. And then play big creatures at the later rounds. That would be his strategy. And Jimmy is like last time, running his bird deck. Let's see, probably changing one bird away because he only needs one. And yep, we can see he has an Angel Nectar for draw in turn 2. Then he runs the Sandstorm for 4 mana, and 5 mana is Holy Punishment. For 7, it's Judgment Day, so it's a super control deck. But for this type of deck, the only problem for them is that all these cards, no matter it's Sandstorm or Holy Punishment or Judgment Day, none of them can take away the Hexproof Bird or just any Hexproof card. So the only way to take down a Hexproof creature for the opponent, it can only be taken down by Battle of Creatures, unless it's from the player who played the hexproof creature itself. Alright. But for this turn, Jimmy decides to draw a card first. Jimmy doesn't wanna risk yeah, Jimmy doesn't wanna risk, I would say. Because I believe for this before this first turn happened, Jimmy doesn't know if AAS is running any creatures mana 2 or mana 3. So if Jimmy played the bird and then the bird died the first turn, and it's gonna leave Jimmy with a bunch of buff cards and non-hexproof creatures. And that would be very messed up for this type of deck. So Jimmy is being safe for this turn. And since Jimmy played a creature at the top row, I believe Jimmy thinks AAS is gonna play something at the top row to take this professor down. So this turn, he can play the bird at the bot row. It would be relatively safe. And I would say it was a good strategy, but AAS was lucky and draw an A attack Imperial Charger. So that was enough damage to get rid of the bird. I would say it's not looking very good for Jimmy because AAS is running a good loads of control cards. But Jimmy got another bird just when the turn starts, and he placed the bird with 2 heritage in front of it. So it's a double safety for the bird. Is running Judgment Day this turn, but that's not gonna take the bird down. And Jimmy gets to play the classic combo. Level 4 Vigor Growth with a level 4 or a level 3 Mountain Power. Makes the bird 18 damage, or I would say 18 attack. So if AAS cannot heal up or get rid of the bird, he's gonna die next turn. But AAS actually has the heal card plus 30, so it's level 5. Yep, it's a level 5 potential motivation. So that does help AAS survive one more turn, but that's not gonna make him win the game because he cannot get rid of the bird. AAS does have a second one, but Jimmy Guts I think the level actually doesn't matter because even a level 1 combo makes you gain one more strike. The same goes to Mountain Power. The higher level of the card only gives you more armor. The core, I would say the core of Mountain Power is to make your attack be the same amount as your HP. And for combo, it's mainly that one more strike. The HP is just a good add up on top of the card. So even if the card is not high leveled, it doesn't make much difference, especially when it comes to this type of deck. Alright, and let's see Jimmy's second game. The first game was a super buff bird. I believe it was 20 attack something with a combo. So double strike, that's 40 something damage. Alright, this turn, we can see it's all control cards. There's no early creatures besides the hippo. But hippo is not an aggro card as well. It's just for making sure the player doesn't die early games. While Jimmy has Peach Festival for the first turn. Now he has the bird and all the buff cards. So Jimmy doesn't need to draw anymore. He thinks that's enough cards. So he burns the Peach Festival and use the Long Ear Girl to protect the bird, which is a good play. If he didn't do that, then the Burrowing Badger gonna take down the bird. And the AAS kind of predicted Jimmy's move. He knew Jimmy's gonna put something in front of the bird if Jimmy does have something to put. So he put the Force Haunting in front of the bird, and it actually got the Heritage Fortune Teller that was placed in front of the bird. But Burrowing Badger's damage was not enough to take down the bird with Vigor Growth. And this turn, Jimmy has Mountain Power, and that gives the bird 4 armor because it's level 3 Mountain Power. So that makes the bird survive one more turn. And if if AS cannot heal up, then Jimmy's gonna win the game by doing 20 damage this turn. And that was exactly the case. Jimmy dealt 20 damage, and AS wasn't able to heal up above 20. This was the turn that AAS would have a chance to win the game if he had potential motivation. Because last game when AAS played potential motivation, he didn't have any creatures on board or on the same row with the bird so that they can deal damage to the bird. And this turn, he actually has creatures that can deal damage to the bird, but he's lacking healing cards, especially that potential motivation this time. If he had potential motivation, then he could heal up, survive the 20 damage, and take down the bird. So I would say that's a little bit unlucky for AAS. No problem. This is the problem that most control deck has to face. For aggro deck, all you have to do is deal damage to your opponent's face, which is relatively easy because it's like one condition that you need to achieve. While if you're playing control deck, you need to achieve for this case, you need to achieve two conditions. So you need to achieve the first one is have creatures on the board to take down the bird, and the second one is healing cards to heal you yourself up enough to survive the bird's attack. So it's always harder to play control deck, but control deck is the type of deck when you make sure your opponent cannot take you down, they usually just surrender. There is like no chance for them to come back. So I would say it's a very good feeling when you're playing control deck and you actually get to control the board. It's two different type of feelings. And for aggro, it's just very sweet to deal damage to your opponent's face because they cannot do anything against it. All right, let's go back. This was group 32. I think it was very good. So maybe we'll save that up for choosing it as a highlight. Uh, let's see. It was group 30 something, so maybe we'll look at group 30s. The Actually, let's go to, let's see. It only goes to 60s. Check out from the back. There's still some lives going on. Rango, NFT, X move, Minotaur Lord. Let's see. The bell power difference is only 200. And both of them are running Frozen. But one's Frozen Zen, the other one is Frozen Pirate. Since their bell powers are very close, so we can say this is a match between whether Frozen should combo with Pirate or Frozen should combo with Zen. Alright, for the Chinese side, this is looks very likely to a zoo deck. So you just fill up the boards and then play buff cards. And for Minotaur Lord, it looks like an aggro deck because he's running the hot-headed miner. But this is the only card we can see, so maybe we need to see more cards. But it doesn't look like a Minotaur is playing late game, because if you are playing late game with the Frozen race, then you will want to run cards that can place down Frozen floors. Alright, looks pretty aggro. That's what I thought. The Ranger and the Miner. But it was not enough damage to take down Temple Priest. Minotaur Lord's HP is being lowered down to only 4. So he needs to deal with the General first this turn. That's a clean sweep. And both of the Temple Priest is gonna suck 2 HP. So Just these two are enough to deal 2 damage to Minotaur Lord. So that's a GG. Alright. That's a 2-1. So I guess Frozen Zen is better than Frozen Pirate. Maybe. We're not sure, but for this match, it looks like Frozen Zen is better. Watch room number 8. Okay, let's see. Room number 8. Same deck. Okay. So, alright. It's Zen Academy. So, probably. Okay, it's very different. So, for Lion King, it's. We can see there's late game cards. So, 9 mana, 9 mana, and Bamboo Forest. So, it's not Bird, Heritage, and Buff card. It looks like a late game control deck, which is what people would build of Zen and Academy when the game just started. People only started to build Zen and Academy with the bird and being aggro recently. I would say it only started this World Cup tournament. So it wasn't really a thing that's World Cup tournament. So this is like an old traditional Zen Academy deck. Well, this one looks like the new Zen Academy deck, which is the bird deck. You see buff cards, heritage, and then Peach Festival to draw cards. This professor is also a drawing card professor, so okay, it actually switched into a bird. But Lion King knew this deck liked to. I'd say most of the players with the bird deck likes to place the bird at the bottom row. So Lion King kind of knew that. So he placed the professor at the bottom row. And he actually got the bird. So now Lewis is out of bird. He can only play Fortune Teller and draw card Professor to try to see if he can get another bird. So, and he actually got 2 pitch festival in his hand. So there's 6 cards that he can draw, and he doesn't need 6. The first 3 already got him the bird that he's looking for, but Lion King is start raising a level 4 Hori Root, and we don't know if that's enough to kill Lewis before Lewis raise up a super buff bird. Alright, so this turn, Lewis knew he needs to block the top row, so he doesn't get one shot by the Hori Root, and at the same time also buffing up the bird. And the Master Ran actually killed all the heritage, and that made the buff, all the heritage buff made the bird A attack. So next turn, the bird can deal 16 damage without any buff cards. And he draws one more combo in, so that's gonna be 9 times 3. So that's 27 damage in. And he blocks the top row with 2 creatures. So that's 10 damage. But the Wine Master has double strike. So that got loose. For the loose bird can attack since it was played mid row. Let's check out game 2. Commentary on Oten's game? No problem. Let's do that after this match. Alright, so looking like the same. Liu's trying to look for the bird. And Lion King is playing a small mind game here. He thinks if Liu's gonna play the bird again, and he's probably not gonna place it at the bottom since it was killed at the bottom last time. So maybe you wanna put it at the top. So Lion King placed the professor at the top. But Lion King didn't know that Liu's just didn't have the bird. So Liu's has to play Pitch Festival. And for this turn, Liu's got the bird. He's able to play the bird as well as Pitch Festival. So Liu's is trying to look for all the buff cards that can buff up the bird and try to kill Lion King before Lion King's Holy Root gets big enough to one-shot him. Because that's what, well, it wasn't what made Lion King win. It was Wine Master that made Lion King win. But that Holy Root was kind of like a timer. Because by the time Holy Root can one-shot Liu's, then Liu's always has to play something to block the Holy Root. And also, since Lion King's race is Zen and Academy, so when the Holy Root is big enough, he can just play Clean Sweep. And unless Liu's plays any hexproof card, otherwise there's gonna be no creatures on that row. That means the Holy Root can just one-shot. Alright, it looks like Liu's wasn't able to find enough damage to get down the Holy Root. But while saving up his bird, but his bird is in big trouble right now. But Liu's got that clean sweep on time to make sure that there is no creatures at the top row to take down his bird. So that's another 7 damage in from Liu's to Lion King. Liu's is still looking for those buff cards. He got the Vigor Growth. Gonna play with the double HP. And Lion King actually has the late game cards in his hand. Gonna start playing the OP late game cards. But the damage itself is not enough to take down the buffed, I would say quadruple HP bird. It was being buffed up by Vigor Growth and then into the double HP. So Lion King is not running any healing cards as we can see in his hands. So it means Lion King's gonna die next turn to the bird, so Lion King just FF. And let's check out their last game. Interesting. Lion King actually changed his deck. Lion King got the bird deck as well. But Lion King's bird was taken down by Liu's Fortune Teller. And that is, I would say a sad news for Lion King. Because if Liu's also played a bird, then both of their birds can survive. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So Lion King is trying to take down the bird right now with his Kiddo. But Liu's has 2 mana sweep, so that is able to sweep the Kiddo away. And Lion King also played a 4 mana Mountain Power on the Kiddo, so that really hurts for the Kiddo to be swept away because the card was only 2 mana. And the Kiddo itself is 4 mana, and then the Mountain Power is also 4 mana. So Liu's actually gained a 6 mana difference by sweeping that buff Kiddo away. And Lion King knew he's not able to deal with the bird, so Lion King had to FF. And that makes Liu being able to, let's see, win against 1.1k bell power higher deck. But generally, the bird deck has a lower bell power compared to most of the deck. As you can see, Lion King changes control deck to the bird deck, and he lower his deck power by 600. Alright, and let's see. Let's see. We don't see 𝙂𝙪 in this search, so maybe we need to manually look it up. It looks like I don't see the name, so maybe it was a typo. Oh, yep, maybe it was a typo. Let's see. We don't see. Okay, never mind. We do see. We do see 𝙂𝙪, and it was not against an absent, so it's not a typo. Let's see. 𝙂𝙪 actually lost the first game, but won the game back. Just like Uranus mentioned, it's Frozen Inferno against Empire Zen. Looking very classic. Reinforce front line and field defense. Filling up the board and then use 𝙧𝙧𝙪𝙩𝙪 and whatever buff card Empire or Zen has to buff up the zoo creatures. And for Frozen Inferno, it's just straight out try to be aggro. Deal all the damage. As much damage as or I should say, deal as much damage ASAP to the opponent. That would be classic Frozen Inferno. And it looks like this is a very good turn. That's 5 damage in, and then takes away the 𝙧𝙧𝙪𝙯 at the top, and it was 5 mana. So 𝙂𝙪 chooses to play both 1 mana card, not burning any. Because next turn he's gonna be 6 mana, so he can just play Lilith. And then after Lilith, it's 7 mana, and he can just play the death roll. Okay? But for this turn, 𝙂𝙪 thinks he doesn't need the Infernal Broocher, because he already got Lilith and death roll. So that's a 2 cards. That's 2 cards that he wanna play ASAP. So he burned the Butcher to play death roll first before Lilith. And if nothing goes wrong, Lilith gonna be played next turn. And sadly, that wasn't a 1 mana card, so Lilith could not be played with whatever that was draw. But it's still worth it to burn a card for Lilith's special effect. But Provisor actually got the Lilith down with the big Angelina. So it's a little bit unlucky for Provisor, I would say. I mean for 𝙂𝙪, because if Lilith stay on the board, it clears 1 creature every turn. And 𝙂𝙪 was actually very lucky that he got the Evil Flame, because it can just one-shot Provisor. But there was 3 block free, so Provisor could have played his creature, I'd say this place, and the bottom 2 space. And for 𝙂𝙪, he just need to hit 1 empty space. So it was a 66% chance of winning for 𝙂𝙪 and only 33% to block not even winning, just block the Evil Flame for Provisor. And Provisor actually got that. So this is well played by Provisor. Provisor had a really nice block. Alright, and Provisor got that Wine Master. And since Alton burned all his card, he can only play whatever is drawing. And that's not enough to deal with the Wine Master. So Alton wins that. Alton lost that first game. But he was able to come back with the 2 games later. So let's see. It's I would say a good start this time for Alton. Provisor had to pass their first turn while okay. While Alton has a 2 mana creature. So it's a 2/2 combo, 2 into 2. And the 2 mana sweep was also a little bit unlucky. It swept the Evil Eyes back. So Evil Eyes was able to be played by Alton 2 times in a row, and that discard 2 cards for Provisor. So there is a 2 card difference between Provisor and Alton. And Alton is trying to burn cards to speed up the game because he has more cards in his hand than Provisor. And Provisor is Provisor kind of had no choice to speed up the game, just like Alton did, because he has lower cards. He kind of needed to play whatever card that he can play that turn. And it was lucky that Provisor had the Holy Punishment to lower the pressure from Alton's mid row. But Alton has the death roll on time. So this card is very strong because it's 18 damage if there is no damage, or I should say no creature for that row. And even if all 3 of that was taken down and there's only 2 mana Skeleton Warrior left on the board, 3 of them is still 9 damage. And it looks like it's too much creature for Provisor to deal with. The Fanatic and Infernal Butcher take down 2 creatures before the battle even starts. So that leaves Provisor with almost no creature to block the creatures from Alton. So Alton is I would say Alton's deck is an aggro deck for sure, but he played like Enzu because he was able to play more creatures than Provisor did, because Provisor card was all discarded away by Alton's Evil Eyes. So Alton has the classic combo again. And this time Provisor is not playing the 2 mana sweep. So the Evil Eyes can only be played by Alton 1 time. And even though Alton is running out of cards, he does have the blood pool on time. And Provisor cannot deal with the blood pool yet. So that draws 1 card for Alton. And if Provisor wants to deal with the blood pool, he's gonna play Holy Punishment. And oh, Alton is actually running a new card, which is a Soul Curse. So that discarded 1 card for Provisor, plus the Evil Eyes. And that's 2 cards discarded from Provisor by Alton's cards. And Alton lucky draws another blood pool. We can see Provisor use Holy Punishment because he didn't really want to see Alton keeps drawing and drawing. So his plan was to make sure 𝙁𝙀 could not draw with the blood pool, but 𝙁𝙀 draw another blood pool while Provisor didn't draw another Holy Punishment. But Provisor did draw Judgment Day. But Provisor didn't want to play Judgment Day because it kills random units on both sides. So not just 𝙁𝙀's creatures. Provisor's creature gonna get removed by his own Judgment Day. So for this turn, Provider still don't want to play Judgment Day. He wants to save it up until the very last turn. But that was discarded by the 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪𝙩𝙝. And that actually hurts a lot for Provisor because Provisor probably didn't expect his card to be discarded by 𝙁𝙀's 𝙂𝙁𝙪𝙀. And that forced Provisor to play whatever card he just draws in. But for 𝙁𝙀, he could play more cards than Provisor now because 𝙁𝙀's blood pool is still on the board. But 𝙁𝙀's HP is only 14, so 6 lower than Provisor. So Provisor still has a chance to win against 𝙁𝙀 if he is able to deal enough damage. But that it looks like that's not the case for this game. Looks like 𝙁𝙀 is able to make sure he doesn't get damaged by Provisor. The only damage income 𝙁𝙀 is receiving right now is from his very own blood pool. So 𝙁𝙀 plays the Grudge at the top because that's the only row that Provisor can deal damage straight to 𝙁𝙀. So that blocks 6 damage, and it also drains 7 HP from Provisor, as well as lowering 7 HP because it's drained. So 𝙁𝙀 gets 7 from Provisor. That's a 14 HP difference. And this turn, there's no heal from Provisor, so this Thunder Inferno is enough to take down Provisor. And that's it. That's a victory for 𝙁𝙀's first match in group stage. Alright, and that's it for today. Thanks for everyone that watched. And before we end our stream, let's thank our sponsors again, which is BNB Chain, Biosyn, and Izumi Finance. Alright, and we will see you guys again very soon on, let's see. We will see you guys again on, the 16th. So tomorrow. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Alright. Thanks.